Here we're going to learn how to belay from the top of a climb. Now most traditionally when we're single pitch climbing, we're at the bottom of the climb and the rope is redirected through the anchor at the top and then down to the climber, and we call that a slingshot or a redirected top rope belay. But here we're going to focus on belaying from the top. And so first we're going to talk about a couple different ways to do it and the pros and cons, and then we're going to talk about the method that we really want to prefer you to use. So first here I've clove hitched myself into the anchor with a locking quick draw, got my quad anchor. A little trick here that I can use is to push a bite of the backside of my clove here and just kind of tuck that out of the way here. And then as always, anytime we're belaying, we want to stack, and restack our rope to make it nice and clean. I've got my belayer, my climber here, Selah, it's going to be my climber. And first we're going to talk about redirecting the rope and belaying off of our harness like so. Here I'm just going to use a standard black diamond ATC, just a simple plate device. It's got no assisted braking function to it. And so here, this really probably looks like what you might see in a single pitch scenario. I've got a locking carabiner up here, going down to my belay device, redirected to my climber. Now my climber can climb, and I've got to do a good job belaying, maintaining my brake hand on the rope. Okay, because there is nothing to stop me. Now I could add nothing to stop the rope from going through if I let go of this rope by accident or if something happens. I could add some security here by adding an assisted braking device like a gree-gree, but that's one of the cons to it perhaps. And so one of the drawbacks to this system is if Selah falls, okay, it's her weight on the anchor as well as my weight. Now we're both in the anchor. We're adding some more force onto the anchor when she falls like that because both of us are on it. It also makes it difficult, like if I needed to help her, if I needed to escape the system, I'm going to have to do some technical stuff here to escape the system and get myself out of the belay here. Or if she needed some assistance, like if she was stuck on the climb and needed some help, I needed to maybe create a mechanical advantage system, I'm going to have to do some work here to make that happen. When we get into climber assist, you'll see why that's like pretty important. So we discourage the use of that. And I know personally in the last 20 years of climbing, I think I've done that method maybe once or twice. And both were in very unique circumstances where we were climbing long slab routes with bolts and the follower was coming up on that pitch below. We had it redirected, but then they were able to just like pass the anchor and keep climbing and leading the next pitch. So hence our transition time was almost nothing. So again, we're going to discourage that because there's a lot of cons. Now here's a method where I can belay off of my harness here with my device. Again, I'm using an ATC here. I could add some security. Go back for a second. I could add some security by adding like the gree-gree, but just to demonstrate this, I'll do this. I want my leash here, in this case my climbing rope connected with my clove hitch, to be tight. And now I'm going to belay as Selah comes up. And if she falls, okay, I want to be in line here. And so hence I can even, move over here, okay. And you can see here where it starts to be difficult. I've got a high master point here, okay, but it's pulling me. It's pulling me down towards her, and that's one of the big limitations of this. And so here, even if I had a gree-gree on, okay, if I wanted to start to do something like give her some assist, like if she was stuck on a climb, I'm going to have to do some stuff to make that happen. That's going to be pretty technical, as well as if I wanted to escape the belay here and get out of this system so I could go provide aid to her. Again, I'm going to have to do some technical stuff. So we're going to really discourage this for those reasons, but it has some advantages. And particularly like when we're climbing on traditional gear anchors or maybe some natural anchors where for some reason we can't get as good of an anchor as we want, I can use my body here almost like as a shock absorber to help take some of the brunt. Especially with friction in the system, this can also often be a really effective way to help back up your anchor, that your body becomes part of this anchor. We use this a lot in alpine climbing, where we don't always have like 2 and 3 piece like good anchors that we're building with trad gear. We don't have bolts out in the alpine often, and so we'll belay off our harness like this many times. But For just standard rock climbing where we have bolted anchors, we really don't need to do this. And so hence we're going to teach how to belay off the anchor, that when we can build solid anchors with bolts or gear, belaying directly off the anchor is going to be the way to go.